Mikey and Rinne stay in. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Mikey and Rinne Stay In. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Rinne.
And this is episode 23.
Yeah. Michael Jordan's number.
Michael Jordan. Holy shit.
I really wanted to impress you there with that.
How did you know that?
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of in the culture.
I know. It's kind of one of the more famous numbers, but okay. Yeah, so Rinne Dog. This has actually become a sports podcast now. So we're going to be talking about fighting, brain injuries, and points.
And we have a really incredible sports analyst here with us.
Analyst.
Nah.
I like that. Okay, so we're here with our friend Rachel, and actually little baby Ziggy too.
You want to say something?
Inaugural baby on the podcast. Here, let me get this aimed towards your mouth. There we
That's
go.
what he said.
So, Rach, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, my name is Rachel. I am a mom of 2 lovely stepkids, 2 lovely not stepkids, and I am a naturopath. I love to work with mamas, prenatal, postpartum,
Yes.
all the things.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Rachel and her husband Jason have been good friends of ours for years. Basically since we lived in Portland. We've learned a lot together. We've grown together. They've been super supportive in our baby making. They gave us actually these dolls. Is that what we call them? Sculptures?
They're fertility dolls.
Oh, and actually we haven't put them back. She got pregnant right after we put them in the room, and we haven't put them back in our room.
That might be a problem.
Oh, what is our
I
problem?
didn't even think about that.
I know, seriously.
All right, they're going up
But we got to do that.
tonight.
Seriously.
I hope other things will be happening tonight.
Yes!
Nice. Other things going up tonight. Yeah?
Oh.
I don't know.
You really brought that home.
Okay.
That was a penis joke. So, what would you like to talk about while you're here? Tell us some things.
Oh man. Well, I've got so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a thought, because we're really interested in this podcast on hearing about stories of women's health and just things that were not in the sort of cultural talk a lot of times.
Totally.
And so Rachel mentioned that she is a stepmama and then a not stepmama. So I'd love for you to just kind of talk a little bit about your family dynamic and kind of how all of that happened, and are you your partner, and you can talk about it better than I can. So.
Yeah. Well, the stepkids happened because my husband had sex with someone before me.
That's an interesting. Okay.
I'm so glad that didn't happen to me.
I know.
Mikey came to me virginal.
Yeah, I was definitely virginal. Yeah.
Good Catholic boy.
You know it. Just scared.
And so it was actually a big conversation that we ended up having in the beginning of our relationship. One, Jason is older than I am he likes to say 10 and a half years. I usually just say 11 because it's easier.
Round it up.
And he was not super interested in having more kids. He was kind of all done because his were potty trained, could feed themselves, went to school. And so he sat me down on like our second official date, made a fire, and was like, so I should be honest with you, I've had a vasectomy and I want no more children. And at the time, I had dated a string of unfortunate men and was like, oh yeah, I always thought I wanted kids, but I'm really enjoying my career and I'm older and I think that's okay. So
Yeah.
we just went along.
And did you really feel that in that moment, or were you thinking, God, I really like this dude, and like maybe I don't know.
if I can reel him in, I can sink this one. I felt that the words that were coming out of my mouth were honest.
Nice, yeah.
And they became dishonest very quickly. I mean, I told him that I changed my mind, so that wasn't lying. But
Was it after you guys got married? Do you feel like you changed your mind?
no, oh goodness, no.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
Before that.
So I moved in pretty quick. Like when somebody has kids, you're kind of fast tracked into things
Mm.
because
Sure.
you either know you're serious or you're not. And so
How long into dating did you meet his children?
well, we had a big plan
Uh-huh.
that we would get together maybe once every 6 weeks, and like I would be his friend, and we would have a meal together or something. And we went on our official first date just right before Christmas, and I was hanging out with the kids New Year's Eve, so December 31st, and then I think I spent like every waking moment with Jason after that. So
Perfect plan.
the plan went out the window.
Yeah.
The kids quickly realized I wasn't just a friend. They were very welcoming. They were 5 and 8 at the time.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Super excited to have some female energy around.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I moved in, which was May,
Yeah.
and I started really taking care of the kids and notch up, like making them lunches and reading bedtime stories and staying up with them when they got sick. Or I was like, hey, you know that thing I said I didn't want? Yeah, I want to do that with you from like the very beginning.
Oh. Yeah.
And he was like, shh. So.
Yeah, I wish my kids weren't so awesome. Maybe they wouldn't have caused this.
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, exactly what he said. He's like, well, my sperm. I mean, how could you not? And so that was a big pin in like, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Because I needed to get clear on whether or not I was willing to be in a relationship and not have kids.
Right.
And he needed to get clear
Ziggy, eat that.
on whether or not I'm just shoving food in my child's mouth to keep quiet.
We were eating, Rinne made like a pear, I guess I was saying Clafloutis.
And I said, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't either.
I don't either, really.
It tastes good.
It used to be the thing that we'd make in culinary school because it was super easy. So if you had a bunch of fruit, you just like whip together like a basic custard mix, basically. So it's like eggs, milk, whatever, and then just pour it in and you just bake it. It was like super, super easy. So I think that's what we're eating right now. But
Eggs and milk are two things that are really important for fertility.
yes.
Fertilize the egg.
Oh yeah, and
Squirt
then
the milk out.
and squirt the milk. Well, so these
Seems
are all
apropos.
things. So yeah, so Rinnes, yeah, she's gonna be pregnant after this podcast.
After eating.
Yeah, after eating this. But Ziggy is so cute because she's just like eating. She's been eating. We had chicken, roasted chicken, and she's like just sticks the whole wing bone in her mouth. She's just like.
Using the wing bone also as a utensil to scoop soup with, which
Scoop
I thought was
soup.
really brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a cave child. And so I had to kind of talk with Jason about whether or not, okay, just stick a boob in it and then it gets quiet.
I know, inaugural baby and inaugural breastfeed on Mikey and Rinne.
There it is.
I feel like there's needs to. Yeah, here I'll give you this.
A medal.
Yeah, gold medal.
Uh-huh.
Mikey was gonna hand off his necklace.
My medallion. Let my medallion swing.
Okay, yeah, quiet. We're really important. We're gonna be famous.
I know, seriously.
Okay. And so I came to Jason and said, you are more important to me than kids. And so I'm in this no matter what. But if you're a no, then I'm gonna have to I think back off a few notches with the momming thing that I'm doing. Because I was all in. And
That's interesting.
I was really taking care of them when they were at our house. I was like, it's just too painful. He was like, yeah, okay, I respect that, I get it. So then we decided we'd do some therapy sessions together to work through what we actually wanted. And that was hard. That was hard to stay grounded in okay, here's this guy that I love, that I know loves me, who chose to have kids with someone that he now clearly does not like at all. And he doesn't know if he wants to do it with me. So that was the hardest part of it.
And then were you I mean, you're a medical professional, so you were likely aware that a vasectomy could be reversed. But did you guys have any idea of what that surgery looks like, what it would cost, is it painful, like
Right, success rates and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, the way it went down is that.
Does she want to hang out with me? Come here, Zig.
She's got something to say.
Let's see what we got.
Oh.
Hello. Hello.
I didn't know anything about Jason knew how the vasectomy worked.
Yeah.
It was like a 20-minute thing, and it cost $500.
Right.
In and out, no big deal. And so he wanted to do some research of like, okay, is there a way to extract the sperm without getting it reversed?
Oh, interesting.
But that would mean IVF.
Oh, right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
I ain't into that one, baby.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, what if we got a donor? And I was like, well, that doesn't feel great to me. You want me to have someone else's children with me? Because he had a relationship with his stepdad that was very strong. He's like, I feel like I'd be kind of doing that same thing. And you're raising my kids, and I could be raising yours. I was like, that feels odd, but I could get there. The more we talked about it, the more we got on the same page. And we made sure we were on the same page before he put a ring on it. Because it felt like something that we really needed to have. Like, that kink needed to be ironed out before.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so tell us about the vasectomy reversal.
That was, so I did a bunch of research on specialists because, someone's cutting into your balls.
Yeah.
You want to know that they know what they're doing.
Top notch.
Yeah. You don't go for like the Groupon. And so I found a guy down in San Francisco who came very well, regarded. I had an interview with him along with a few other people, and he definitely stood out. And then there was the price tag, which was, $12,500.
Oh, was it? Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Not to mention the flight down there and all the things, right?
Right.
And so then we were like, okay. But my mom had said, I am her only child, her only daughter. This was my first wedding and only.
Don't blow it, Jason.
And don't forget about it.
Yeah.
And so she said, I have $10,000 that I want to put towards your wedding, and whatever you don't spend of that, you can put towards the surgery. And we were like, okay, I can be cheap. I can be cost effective.
Yes.
And then Jason's mother kindly offered to match whatever my mom put in. So
God,
we ended up having to do.
Because Mikey's parents have also offered to cover all of this infertility stuff that we're going through and a potential IVF, and I just think, like, what an incredible grandparent investment to make.
Yeah.
It just is like, makes my heart sing. I just think it's the sweetest gesture.
Yeah.
Wow.
And since we're going to have a dummy of a kid who's definitely not going to college, like, pay for this and then, it's
Then
all
you're
good.
fine. You're
Yeah. They're going to go to the School of Hard Knocks and just,
So we ended up having to pay for like $1,200.
Wow.
Like, pretty minimal.
Yeah,
when it
that's amazing.
comes to all the things. And we flew down there. It was not a short surgery. So it was a microsurgery, and it was 4 hours of Jason under with like
Oh, really?
500 micro stitches, and it was no small thing. Neither is Jason's, private area. And to throw that one in there, baby.
Yes.
And so you know, he was on major narcotics, and the funniest part is when he woke up from the surgery, he was like high as a kite and very loud. He thought it was funny when because I had to help him dress afterwards because he was wobbly, and you know, I drove him back to we stayed at his sister's who lived just outside of San Francisco and Oakland. And I'm like I'm getting him dressed, and like pulling on his pants, and then he's like, ow! I was like, oh my god, what happened? He's like, I gotcha.
Oh my god.
No,
he did not.
So,
So tell me about because this is so interesting, right? I think there's a lot of times when we hear stories, and this is our story, about the female side being the fertility challenge, right? And it's not like Jason had a fertility challenge. Clearly he could get kids. It was just he roadblocked it.
His pipes had been cauterized.
Yes, exactly. So talk to me a little bit about what you're feeling around him making this decision and then having to go through with the surgery. And
yeah, well, I really appreciated, like, sometimes when we get into a tussle and we're like, you know, can we strip it all back, and like, I just need to know you love me. He's like, if you ever have a doubt, like, I let someone cut into my balls for you, and had 2 more kids. Like, there's love, and then
that's
there's
fucking
love.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Yeah. Was there guilt? Was there anything on your end? Like,
I mean, in the beginning, I mean, because seeing him go through the surgery, it was definitely painful. And then I was pregnant for a total of 80 weeks with 2 children and 2 vaginal births without pain meds, and any guilt that I had was totally absolutely erased completely. I was like, yeah, vasectomy or reversal, whatever, no biggie.
push 2 babies out my badge, thank you.
Yeah. So I think he got the easier end of it by far.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
And you know, the things that stuck out to me the most, one, the surgeon was great, but he sat us down before the procedure and he was like, look, you are already, I mean, at the time Jason was 37 and had his vasectomy already for 9 years.
Wow.
And so, you know, there was that.
Wow. So was there a chance that it wasn't going to work because it had been so long? Oh.
So there was that. I mean, there's always a chance that
the
reversal doesn't work, right? But then there was also, I was of advanced maternal age.
Hell yeah.
So I was 35. And so he showed us this pretty little graph and where we overlapped. He's like, well, you being in this category with your reversal and you being 35, like, average, it's going to take you 6 months to a year to get pregnant. So we were like, okay, it's all right, I can, you know. But of course, who, like, my biological clock is like thumping, was anxious, like, beyond anxious. What if it doesn't work? What if this wasn't, we'll do the reversal and then we have the option of other things. It was kind of like, the agreement was we'll do the reversal, see if things work naturally, and if it doesn't, we just let this go.
Wow.
And so I was anxious, to say the least. And I had gotten to the point where I was having a lot of trouble not, like, of course I was happy for my friends who got pregnant, and I love babies, and I really respect pregnant women, but there was a good, like, 6 to 9 months where I had to unfollow anyone who was pregnant or had a newborn. Like, I'm walking down the street, I'd see pregnant women, and I just like, fucking just like, walk on the other side of the street.
We're in that mode right now.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm
We
sort
also-
of punch him in the face a little bit.
We're also coming into next week would have been the due date for our baby. And
yeah.
so it's like when we know people that are having babies, or just have had them, or having them next week, and it's hard not to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Right.
That we deserve
What'd
that.
you do? What'd you
Right.
do to get that?
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that was a hard space to be in because I am not used to being a negative person. Like I'm not typically a pessimist. But I could not get to a space of believing, just like trusting that things were gonna work out.
Well, and you work with pregnant women and women trying to get pregnant and postpartum, right?
Right.
So that adds a whole nother layer.
Which must for you too.
It sure does. Going in and seeing those babes. Yeah. I've had to work through some stuff for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And then I keep feeling like the universe, it gives you, like pushes you up to your limit and then it's like, okay, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up getting pregnant the first chance we could. He had his surgery the very beginning of October. He had to completely abstain from anything for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And he was on pain meds for a while. He couldn't lift anything heavy or do any strenuous exercise for I think 4 weeks. So it was right around Thanksgiving where we got the green light from the surgeon to try, but I knew I had already, like, my window closed for that month. And then mid-December, the next viable option. So we hadn't really, like, I wasn't really tracking very much at that point. I was just getting into the groove because I was like, well, this is probably going to be a long road. And it was New Year's Eve, and Jason was like, baby, can we just get a pregnancy test? Like, I'm not trying to say that you're emotional, but you just seem like, I just feel like maybe there's something, like you seem a little sensitive.
Wait, and had you noticed that at this point?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was just in total denial of like, this is gonna happen like at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, fine, I'll take it. This is stupid, it's gonna be negative. And so I took it, and it was negative, and I proceeded to cry all night. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. I was like, he's like, is there anything you do? Yes, get me ice cream.
Obviously.
So we had ice cream in bed, and counted down to midnight. And I was like, I told you it was gonna be negative. I just like, leave me alone. And then 3 days later, it was January 3rd, and he was gone with the 2 older kids. And I was home alone, and the pregnancy tests come in packs of like 3, and I was like, I haven't started my cycle. I should have started a couple days ago. I'll take another one. What the hell? So I took it, and there was a very faint line, and so then I spent an hour Googling false positives on pregnancy tests.
Yes.
Because I was certain that it was not legit. And so then Jason gets home, and I was like, I want to show you something. And I showed it to him, and I was like, what does that look like to you? Like, does that look like a line or not a line? He was like, baby, you're pregnant. I was like, but I don't think so.
The line's not quite dark enough.
He was like, I think, yeah, you're pregnant. You're just pregnant. I was like, but I don't think so. So I took like 4 more pregnancy tests.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The final one was in the bathroom of a Fred Meyer.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
And that one was like clear.
Yeah. I mean, there needs to be a law passed that pregnancy tests have to just say pregnant or not pregnant.
Right. Yeah. No smiley face bullshit.
No weird
no
line,
lines.
yeah.
No. Just give me
the goods.
Give me the
Right.
goods.
And so then I proceeded to just panic for the next 9 months that I was either going to miscarry or have a stillbirth. Like that was where I went. So that was fun.
And why do you think that you went there?
Well, I knew the statistics.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got pregnant so easily. it can't be, no. Something, the other shoe, it's gotta drop. So for the first 12 weeks, every time I went to the bathroom, I was just waiting.
Right.
Just waiting for it. And then that passed, and then I was afraid to get attached. And everything seemed like it was okay, and all the tests were coming back okay. But I had 2 friends who very far along in their pregnancies, one at 36 and one at 39 weeks, for no reason that was discernible, had stillborns. And I was like, so even up to the end, I was like, it was in the back of my head. It wasn't the forefront. It wasn't the only thing I was thinking about, but it was definitely a very large concern at different times. And that's something that the movies never show you. Like, you know, it's like, we're pregnant!
So true.
Yeah, and then fast forward
and then everything's fine.
a little morning sickness, and then it's like,
so much anxiety.
right.
So much anxiety. So much blame and guilt and like, what should you do and shouldn't you do when you're pregnant?
Yeah. Well, and especially once you're of advanced maternal age. Yeah, there's
I mean, you might get your wheelchair caught in your
Well,
your robe.
it is called a geriatric.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we know that
Which is
very well.
Ridiculous.
We always talk about like what fucking asshole male doctors came up with that one. Like
so
over 35-year geriatric. So get your walker and your wheelchair and you watch Jeopardy and eat warm tapioca pudding.
Well, you know,
Have your day.
I just got a doula so that they can hold my dentures.
Nice, perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's a really good use for a doula. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Did you have similar anxiety with your second pregnancy?
Well, my second pregnancy was a whole different ballgame.
How so?
So that one, Jason and I were very clear. It was one and done. Because it took a lot to get to the one. And so I was still breastfeeding Coop at night, and I hadn't gotten my cycle back yet. And so my intention was just like to start being real careful when I got my cycle back. And I'm a doctor, so I know better. But I also
That's what I love.
I also really fucking wanted a second baby. So there was a part of me that was like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, maybe if I wasn't so careful.
But I wasn't, like, there was certainly
no
like,
scheming.
let me pull the wool over on
Right,
me.
sure.
I really, really thought, because I had these ovulation strips, and I was clockwork peeing on them, and I was just not ovulating on it. And then I think I might have gotten like a smidge lazy, because I was doing it solid for a year.
Right,
And I was like,
right.
for fuck's sake, this is just exhausting.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, lo and behold, like the only time I don't do it,
Oh my god.
Right.
this thing
This-
happens.
Yeah, little Ziggy. Hi, Ziggy.
And so I didn't know I was pregnant, and
You knew.
With you.
You knew.
Yeah.
I kept thinking. I mean, Coop was, goodness, September, October, November, December. He was like 16 months, and I was like, when the hell am I gonna get my cycle back? And then I started getting some sensitivity with him nursing, and then I started to like get a little emotional, and then I started to get a little nauseous. And I was like,
I remember this.
well, that's interesting. And so I went and I bought the pregnancy test with the stripy lines, the pregnancy test that said pregnant, not pregnant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I bought like 4 different ones.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I went into the bathroom of Jim and Patty's coffee shop over on Fremont.
I like that you do public
Public
pregnancy testing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Jason to find the pregnancy test.
That's a solid move. Yeah, that's good.
And so, sorry, baby.
I mean, there's, yeah.
So I'm like in the bathroom, lock the door, set the timer, and just like having a almost panic attack on the toilet.
Are you with your eldest child at this point?
No, he was hanging out with my sister.
Okay.
What kind of coffee did you get?
It was a chai.
So you're sitting there drinking your chai.
Yeah.
I didn't take my coffee into my chai into the bathroom.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because I think there's OSHA rules against that.
There probably are, but that's okay.
And I was afraid I'd get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
fair
like this as a plug for, what was it, Jim and Patty's?
Jim and Patty's coffee shop
Jim
on
and Pa-
Fremont.
There we go. Best place to pee on a stick.
They have great coffee cake.
And you can get find out you have a baby in the bathroom. Rinne, we're going there when you're ovulating next.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boning in the bathroom.
Boning and sconing at Jim and Pat's.
No, I'm pretty sure we actually got pregnant New Year's Eve in Gearhart, Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's
So
That's a
maybe
pretty
you
place.
want to book a place
Yeah.
there.
We're gonna Tinker Hatfield. We're coming to stay at your house.
And so all 4 of the pregnancy tests were in fact positive.
Nice pickup. Ziggy's the best eater I've seen, and is just creatively eating in a way that it's artistic. Yeah.
And I like put them all in my bag.
Okay. Awesome. Piss sack.
And I went back and I like sat down and I was drinking my chai and I was like rocking back and forth like, oh my god. And I was shit ass excited and I was so nervous. Because that, I think at the time, was Jason's biggest fear. Because his pop married and divorced, divorced 3 times, married 4 times, had a boy and a girl, just like Jason had with the first marriage. And then he got remarried, had 2 more kids, got another divorce. So I think that like Jason's biggest fear was that he would relive that whole pattern.
Okay.
And that the 4th kid would be like the nail in the coffin of our relationship, of us ever getting to spend time together. That I really loved being a mom to Cooper, but 2 is a whole different ballgame and it would change my attitude. And, being 11 years older,
Right.
I don't want to fucking be a dad at 50. Like,
Right.
I don't want to have pain walking down, high school graduation.
right.
And so, so he was out drinking with some friends, and he came home, and I was on the couch, kind of like white in the face, and he was like, "You okay?" And I was like, And so we sat down, and I couldn't talk, and so he started guessing. Like, my dad has been in a memory care facility for I think at the time, 6 years. And so he's like, "Did your dad die?" And I was like, "No." "Is Cooper okay?" "Yeah." "Is your mom okay?" "Yeah." And like, just the list.
Go through the gamut of things.
And then finally he was like, "Are you pregnant?"
He guessed it.
Oh boy.
And I
I'm nervous right now.
I know.
start bawling.
Were you?
Right. Spoiler alert.
Oh boy.
And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Okay, well, we'll figure this out." And then he got up and he left.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, fuck. I couldn't contact him. There was no communication of like, I'm just gonna go for a brief walk, or I'm just gonna go out for 20. Like, he just left. And I went and just sobbed in bed, and I was like, I may have just broken our, like, this might be the end. Like, I don't know if this is salvageable. I don't know.
God, and it's so interesting to think too about how, like you said, you were excited.
Oh man, I
Like you wanted,
always.
right?
I have a story that I wrote when I was like 5 on like the big scratch paper, and it's all about how I fall in love, I get married. I couldn't spell husband, it was like husband. And then I had a baby boy, and then I had a baby girl. Because, the boy was supposed to like toughen the girl up.
Wow, yeah.
Right.
So I had it planned out from a very young age. And so it was a rough start. Lots of crying.
Maybe some screams like that.
Maybe some
Yeah.
shrill noises. We did talk about what would it be like to end the pregnancy. And I was like, I don't think I physically don't think I have it in me to do that.
Yeah.
And it was, I had heard lots of stories from particularly Jason's eldest, about like when his ex-wife was pregnant with her, like he used to read to her in the womb, and they would listen to music, and she's very much a daddy's girl, and so they had daddy-daughter dates, and he was on, like, I think 1 or 2 nights a week he would wake up and feed Sierra, and there was very much a 50-50, like his ex expected 50-50, you change a diaper, I change a diaper kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I knew that especially with our first, it would be different because I wanted to be more, like, I wasn't interested in pumping, so I was just going to get up in the middle of the night and feed the baby.
Got it, yeah.
And I just like I want to eat babies, and so I was fine with diaper changing because like you can see their butt. And they're so cute. And
yeah.
so I knew that it wasn't going to look exactly the same, but it also was a little painful that, you know, with Cooper it was his 3rd time around. With Ziggy it was his 4th time around, and he still wasn't 100% on board. And so there was this element of like, it was one of the most joyous times of my life, like growing a human that you know, you want your partner to be in it with you. And he showed up for everything. Of course, he was very protective of me and very loving towards me. But there was no reading to my belly, and there was no like real excitement about the process. If anything, with the oopsie, it was like I would come to points in the pregnancy and he'd be like, I'm not there yet, I'm still grieving. And so it's really hard. It's hard to be 6 months pregnant and know that your husband, there's a part of him that's grieving the experience.
Wow.
And we're very far past that at this point. Like, he adores his little baby girl. We still have our moments of like, it's like, I fucking want a night alone with you. I'm tired of not having any, like, this is why I didn't want little kids, because I want my wife.
Yeah.
I want you before I'm 80. I'm like, yeah, just a couple years. But that's a hard part. And I recently, I'm writing a blog post, and I recently put out a question to Portland Mamas group, which is a very, very talkative group, a rather complainy group, but lots of valuable info. So I just wanted to know, like, what are the biggest mom myths out there that you've been fed by either mainstream media or the movies or TV?
Yeah, good question.
And a lot of it is like that you'll have time in so many shows. Like, I think about Friends, that dates me, but any of the shows where people have babies and then they like go to work and then they go out for drinks afterwards.
Sure.
And the kids are like sort of backdrop somewhere in there.
Yep.
That's total bullshit. Total bullshit.
Well, it's because it's in our ethos, right? That like, if you're gonna choose to be a mom, and if you're gonna choose to have a career, like, you can have it all, but you have to do it like while wearing heels and no spit up on you, and like crushing at your job, and you know, you've got to be like hashtag mom life in it and hashtag job life in it. And,
so newsflash. You can't do it all. You just can't.
Right.
That's been my biggest lesson. And I feel like I started to learn it with my stepkids, which was a blessing. Setting boundaries with them made setting boundaries for myself when I had kids way easier.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, no. Like, I started out just stepmom of the millennium. Like, I was making 3 different meals because I wanted everybody to be happy. And
bless your heart.
I was like, they would get something, and like, I think I made granola once and I put raisins in it, or I put cranberries in it, and Jack was like, I don't like cranberries. And I legit took 30 minutes to just individually pick out fucking cranberries. I did. I did. This was in the very beginning.
Wow.
So it was that level of like, I'm gonna make this perfect. And then, you know, I was still working 5 days a week at my own clinic and doing the commute and all the things. And that's when I finally was like, yeah, this is dumb. If you're hungry enough, you'll eat a cranberry.
Yes.
And if you're desperate enough, you'll pick it out yourself.
Yes.
And that's when I had my first, when I chose to go into telemedicine, because the commute and the drive and everything, like part of the difficulty of taking care of yourself as a mom is getting anywhere and getting childcare.
Yeah.
Because the drive to and from, you like double the amount you're paying for. So, yeah, just a shameless plug for me. If you're a mom out there, you need some help.
Please, please plug. It's actually a really nice transition to plug what you got going on. We've got mamas that are listening, so and potential mamas
Oh my
to be that are
gosh.
listening.
That's amazing.
I went. So I know that Mikey's been off microphone for a little bit. Ziggy and I went and played costume time. So Ziggy is now wearing a hot dog outfit that's Obby's, and it looks great.
She makes
so,
an amazing hot dog.
Yeah, look at that.
Make a yummy hot dog.
And she's wearing a little sombrero too.
Oh my God, Ziggs.
It's too much.
All right, plug away.
Yeah, so Fit Mama PDX. I love working with moms all over, and my sweet spot is right in that, like, sort of where you and Mikey are. Like, getting moms before they get pregnant is awesome because we get to work on setting up a really nurturing environment that is well fed and cared for, a body that is pristine to house a human. And then, I'm sure that moms out there who have been through it can attest to the fact that you get so much prenatal care, and then you have a baby, and your life arguably changes more than it will ever change in your entire existence. And all you get is a 6-week checkup to make sure that you aren't bleeding too much, and then they're like, "You've got this, right?" Which doesn't work. And so I love working with moms in the postpartum period of like, let's create a real plan of how you're going to take care of yourself. Because it's totally overwhelming if you don't have support. And I think we all go into it thinking like, oh, they'll figure it out. All those people in the movies do.
Right.
But it's not. And sleep deprivation can throw you for some serious loops.
Well, and a lot of us have chosen to move away from our families, and so there isn't this sort of built-in, grandma's always around, and she's given me some advice, and so is Gray Auntie, and so that's amazing. And you work with mamas no matter where their location.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of telemedicine.
Yeah.
Is I get to talk to mamas anywhere. We do some video consults, and I can order labs that come to your doorstep. And,
so awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've got mamas in London and New York and LA and
So
all
cool.
over. It's fun.
FitMamaPDX.com, yeah?
That's it.
Okay.
That's
cool.
amazing.
Will you play a quick little game with us?
Oh, I love games.
Okay, you're really good at games.
Yeah.
So this game is just it's going to be 5 favorites. So we've got
rapid fire.
Yep, we're going to rapid fire. Ziggy's going to rapid fire something at the table, and then we're going to rapid fire
Dog balls being thrown.
some questions at you. So number 1, I'm going to go with your favorite swear word.
Twat.
Yes. God, last interview was cocksucker, and now we got twat. We're getting some creative
We can
ones.
put those together.
Yeah.
Fucking
Cocksucker
twat.
twat.
Cocksucker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like a real giver of a person, actually. Twat looking cocksucker.
I've
Giver.
been known to be a giver.
Okay, number 2, I'm going to go with your favorite 90s makeout song.
Oh, jeez, I'm so bad at decades.
Yeah,
Favorite high
90s.
school.
Yeah, it would have been high school for
Okay,
you.
high school. High school. Come, I'll ride the train.
Wow! Yes, you did.
Wow, that's That's some active kissing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no slow bump and grinding. It's like, get right to it. Okay, number 3. How about your 2020 candidate? What are your thoughts?
Oh, anybody but fucking Trump, man.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm feeling the war in action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels good to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
What else have we not done? Oh, well, why don't we do last really positive interaction with a healthcare professional?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
This is like the least fun of all the questions, but
No,
often,
I like it.
I know, I like it too, because it's like oftentimes our interviews are like, then this went wrong, and this went wrong, and I had a shitty doctor, and so we like to like end it on a positive note. Like, how did someone really help you?
Well,
recently?
I mean, really, my last doctor of any kind was my midwife,
Oh, cool, yeah.
and that was delightful.
Great.
Home birth in front of the fireplace.
Awesome.
End of September, 7:06 a.m. Yeah.
Yes! And there she is.
And then that thing popped out. It was very beautiful and so peaceful, and
Wow.
yeah, I felt really well cared for.
Wow. That's a good one.
Hashtag Alma Midwifery in Portland, Oregon.
Yes!
Yeah.
They have been shouted out, once or maybe twice
Yeah.
other times on this show. Okay, what are we missing?
Food.
Yes! What is your favorite eat your feelings snack?
Oh, yeah. So before Ziggy was born, it was definitely ice cream. But she doesn't do well with the dairy. So I've kind of given up ice cream, which has made her really sad, clearly. You can hear it.
She's got so much empathy for that.
So now I would say, oh gosh, eat my feelings snack. I love, oh yeah, there it is. My mom's granola.
Oh, nice one.
I know that feels like really hippie dorky.
It is pretty crunchy, but I'm with you.
So good.
What makes it good?
It's addictive, and I've never had a granola that tasted so good. It's very nutty, and it mixes very well with dark chocolate.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I really appreciate you.
Well, I heart you.
You speak so effortlessly about this journey, and it was, I just appreciate you opening up and sharing something that I've just never heard before.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that anyone's journey to becoming a parent is easy, and once we get there, I think oftentimes we gloss over all the hard bumps along the road.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty bumpy, scary, uncertain journey.
Yeah. I know, and I think that there's a part of me that's always known that, and I think that's why I've postponed for so long. You know, and then now here I am with an infertility journey, right? And so it's, I think that I knew that intuitively, that like the road sounds hard and scary.
But there are so many pieces of it that are also incredibly rewarding and delightful.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you again, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Let's sing her out.
Oh, you're so
You want to sing with us? Okay, here we go.
with us.
Okay, you guys, tune in next episode. It's going to be a Mikey and Rinne episode. Ziggy got the microphone. It's going to be just a Mikey and Rinne episode, and that's going to be episode 24.
Yeah.
So
don't forget to rate us, review us on iTunes, and write to us at letseat at mikeyandrinnestayin.com.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Rinne.
And tonight, we're gonna stay in. Yeah. Ziggy, you want to say anything? Thanks, guys. See you soon.